just got started, and before you know it, comes a time we have to say so long. Oh God, thank you everybody. Oh God.
Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Brian.
Live on NBC 12, this is News Watch 12 at 10.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Jukic. The first Republican debate for the 2024 presidential race is wrapping up in Milwaukee. Leading candidate Donald Trump did not participate, but his presence was felt as candidates either defended or attacked the former president. Our own Dan Hagan was there and joins us now live outside Pfizer Forum. Dan, what are your general takeaways?
Hi, Jessica. Yeah, so my general takeaways, Donald Trump wasn't on the stage. I was wondering how much he would be invoked tonight. And he wasn't invoked that much. There was one question in about the middle of the debate where he was brought up a lot. And if you were watching, Governor Chris Christie took aim at him when it came to his handling of January 6th and other things that he's dealing with in terms of his criminal indictments. Some other things that I noticed was a lot of differences of opinions over certain issues. This includes a national abortion ban. It also includes funding to Ukraine. And it also includes climate change, with one candidate calling it a hoax. But something that united the candidates was attacks on the Biden administration, but we expected that.
What candidate stood out to you, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, the candidate that stuck out to me, and I think to a lot of people, was a totally unknown person to many, which would be Vivek Ramaswamy. He brought a lot of energy to the debate. He was also unabashed in his opinions, which were largely extreme. He was the one who called climate change a hoax. He also said that Ukraine should receive no more funding from the United States. And that was a big juxtaposition with some of the candidates on stage. And I think that includes Mike Pence. You know, when I heard Mike Pence, I thought I was in like the 2000s, the 1990s. He really brings up a lot of classic conservative opinions, and this includes being aggressive in foreign policy to preserve democracies across the globe. This also includes, just invoking Ronald Reagan. He quoted the Bible. He invoked the Constitution quite a bit. And I think Nikki Haley also showed some poise on stage. Don't know if Ron DeSantis cut through all the candidates on the stage. We'll see how he spins it after the debate ends.
Very interesting. And how do you think this debate will affect the race overall?
Yeah, I don't think it will affect the race that much. I mean, the candidates that did well, they will see a bump in polling. They will see a bump in fundraising. But it could be very short-lived. I mean, the person who dominates the oxygen in this Republican primary process is Donald Trump. And he's got a big event tomorrow. He says he's going to be surrendering himself to the Fulton County Jail in Georgia over the allegations that he attempted to overturn the election in that state. So the headlines that come from tonight might be completely usurped by the headlines tomorrow of Donald Trump turning himself in. But what I think is that Donald Trump will maintain his 20, 30, 40-point leads in national polls. So we'll see till the next debate on which candidate can possibly crack through. But for now, reporting in Milwaukee, I'm Dan Hagan, Newswatch 12.
Thanks for the update, Dan. Conrad, it was a beautiful, hot day today.
Wow, definitely a hot day. I know you like your 80s and 90s, so that's exactly what you got. Your wish came true. But, folks, it was a hot one. Take a look outside right now. High temperatures earlier. It was definitely scorching hot, especially in central and southern Wisconsin. We're talking triple-digit heat in some spots like a Wapaka. Exactly 100 degrees, record-shattering type of heat wave incoming that pretty much will be sticking around through tomorrow and into the day on Friday as well. Here in town, though, a little bit of cloud cover in the morning messed things up with our high temperature. We're looking at those mid-80s. We were thinking a little bit warmer than that, but just down south, Merrill, 90 degrees, Wausau area, 95, so it's extremely hot all over the state. Besides the most northern part, closer to the UP, I would say. Our average high is around 76 this time of year, with an average low in those low 50s. We're not going to be near that tonight. We're talking mid-60s outdoors, and it will feel a little bit muggy and sticky outside as well. Look at these dew points. Wow, we're talking 60s, 70s. That is a tropical level. That's, if you're going to Mexico coming out of the plane, that's exactly what you will be feeling. We do have a mixture of some clouds right now, not looking too bad. Overnight tonight, we will continue to have some partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures, though, check this out. We'll be hovering in those mid-60s. Jessica?
A Kansasville man accused of assaulting a DNR warden made his initial appearance in court this afternoon. Mark Serba faces 8 charges related to last July's traffic stop incident. He reportedly intervened in a traffic stop near Crandon Airport and allegedly attacked a DNR warden. The warden then used his gun to shoot Serba. He faces 2 misdemeanors, and felony charges include 2 counts of battery to an officer, false imprisonment, strangulation and suffocation, and attempting to disarm an officer, and attempted first-degree intentional homicide. Serba could face up to 92.5 years behind bars. His bond is set at $10,000, and the preliminary hearing for Serba is set for December 13th. New legislation in Wisconsin would make it harder for prosecutors to drop charges against defendants in certain cases. On Tuesday, a state Senate committee heard testimony on a bill which would require prosecutors to get approval from a judge if they wanted to dismiss or amend charges in 7 types of cases. The restrictions would apply to those accused of domestic abuse, automobile theft, sexual assault, and crimes against children. It would also be applied to illegal possession of a firearm by a felon and reckless driving that results in great bodily harm. An identical version of the bill cleared Wisconsin's assembly this spring. Wisconsin is the latest state to launch a task force to study the effects of artificial intelligence on the workforce. Today, Governor Tony Evers signed an executive order creating a study group under the State Department of Workforce Development. Governor Evers said the group will gather information and create an action plan to identify the current state of AI on Wisconsin's labor market and key industries, occupations and skill sets, and make predictions on where it's headed. The goal is to have an action plan done in time for the governor to consider when introducing the next state budget in early 2025. Schools across the nation have been struggling to maintain a full staff since the COVID-19 pandemic. As of last year, 45% of public schools in the United States had at least 1 vacancy in their staff. Retaining teachers has become the major problem, according to the State Department of Public Instruction's report. Only 2/3 of teachers are still teaching in Wisconsin after their first 5 years. Rhinelander and Northland Pines School District have felt the strain here in the Northwoods.
We are fortunate right now to have our certified staff positions filled. It was a challenge this summer. We lost staff, and then even when we'd hire some staff, weren't able to make the move. We are still short on our custodial staff, our support staff like paraprofessionals.
Another problem with keeping teachers is decreasing the salary over the past decade. The report also found median salary for teachers fell from more than $62,000 in 2011 to $56,000 in 2021. However, the Rhinelander School District hasn't worried about underpaying its faculty.
Our community has supported us with an operational referendum to be able to increase just operations overall. And part of that has gone to increase our salaries for our teachers, but also their benefits.
Both Northland Pines and the Rhinelander school districts begin their new school year on September 1st. Even though both schools are closed to fully staffed, more help is always welcomed. The University of Wisconsin-Madison will take the bulk of the school's system's state funding cuts this year. The first half of the $32 million cut in state aid to UW system schools goes into effect this fall. For UW-Madison, that means a reduction of around $7 million under an annual operating budget approved by the UW Board of Regents. Still, overall revenues for UW-Madison are projected to increase by $463 million over the prior year. That's due to expected enrollment growth, additional revenue from tuition and student fee increases, and transfers of money from donations and federal grants. However, 10 out of the 13 campuses are entering the new fiscal year with structural deficits. Officials attribute the deficit to declining enrollment, tuition freeze, and a climate of flat state support. A new farmers market found a new home in central Wisconsin. It was created due to the limit on vendors at the Wausau Farmers Market. Now, local producers in the area will have a place to sell their products and form bonds with the community. Our very own Mohammed Abdul-Kawi explains how this opportunity will help shine light in the city of Wausau.
Future Saturdays at the North Central Technical College in Wausau will look a little different. That's because of a new farmers market.
I am incredibly excited, actually, because I have wanted to do something like this for a little while now.
This is Deborah Weiss, the organizer of the Wausau Alternative Farmers Market. She came up with this plan because of a need.
But I've been in business for 9 years, and I've been having a hard time getting into a Wausau market.
A few months ago, Deborah decided to post on the Axe Wausau Facebook group to see if anybody else was having the same issue. And
the post just blew up.
It turns out Deborah wasn't the only one having the same problem in central Wisconsin.
I had several people say that they had had similar experiences where they had not been able to get in for various reasons. And then a couple people were like, you should start a market.
The Wausau Farmers Market has a vendor limit of 49 in their bylaws. For the new farmers market, there is no limit, which will give local startups a chance to further sell their products. So far, 30 vendors have signed up.
It seems like ever since I started this, it seems like I've struck a nerve. And so I've been expecting that I may just kind of get buried under an avalanche of vendors. And you know what? I'm all right with that. So, yeah, more the merrier.
The Wausau Alternative Farmers Market will begin officially this Saturday at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Parking Lot C. For more information on how you can sign up to be a vendor, you can visit our website, wjfw.com. Reporting in Wausau, I'm Mohammed Abdul-Kawi, Newswatch 12.
Sounds like a great new addition. Thank you, Mohammed. All eyes were on Milwaukee for the first Republican debate. Coming up, we'll have a look at the candidates and their message after Weather with Conrad right here on Newswatch 12.
The last of summer will draw you in at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's like a magnet, but for people.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. That's the value you can expect from Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Need to update your furniture? Menards is your one-stop shop with all of the latest furniture styles at the lowest prices. Plus a great selection in stock, ready to take home today. So go ahead, relax in a recliner, get cozy in a love seat, or simply unwind with a comfy sofa. Elevate your living space with the Scotty Furniture Set. Right now, the entire collection is 11% off. Hurry in. These deals won't last long.
Presents Kiss. Friday, September 1st, Crandon International Raceway. Kiss, the End of the Road World Tour. On sale now at pacebig.com/events or CrandonRocks.com.
The last of summer will draw you in at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's like a magnet, but for people.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. That's the value you can expect from Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back, my friends. Happy Wednesday. Wow, what a hot-looking day out there today, mainly just south. We're looking at Chicago hit 100 degrees earlier. Even central Wisconsin hit 100 degrees. We were hotter than some places in Florida. Look at Jacksonville right now, upper 70s. So we were definitely cooking all over the United States. Temperatures right now, not too bad. We're talking lower 70s in town. A couple of upper 60s showing up there down the board. Merrill into the Wausau Tampa area, we're talking mid to upper 70s right now. Look at Marshfield coming in at 83 degrees at the moment, so it is still very, very mild, well above our average for this time of year. There was a little bit of cloud cover up right by the UP. That's what kept things just slightly cooler than expected. But look at these feels-like temperatures. Right now, at the moment, we're talking 93 in Marshfield, 87 down by Wisconsin Rapids. So it still feels extremely hot outside in the 80s and 90s. So some really record-breaking heat. The next couple of days, it is going to be warm. Pretty much hot, I would say. Your average is around 76, so well above our average. Thursday into the day on Friday. Look what happens by Saturday. Oh boy, we're cooling down, upper 60s, around 70 degrees. We're going to have a little bit more cloud cover in the area, and then by next week, a little bit cooler as well. We're talking upper 60s to lower 70s, so more comfortable weather for this time of year. Not really any 80s. Anytime in the next week. We do have a mixture of some clouds out there right now, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy in some spots. Even a couple of sprinkles are showing up there right in the UP, right about here, so just north of the Wisconsin border, but that's not too bad. It's mainly just a couple of sprinkles right now at the moment. Dew points are in the 60s and 70s, so it's not comfortable. It's kind of like getting off the plane in a tropical island, Hawaii or Mexico. It just really hits you, and it just feels sticky and muggy outdoors, and it will feel sticky and muggy the next couple of days. Then it will be dropping by Saturday morning into those overnight hours. By Sunday into Monday, starting to rise. Not too bad. We've seen much worse. Kind of what's happening right now and what will be happening Wednesday, Thursday, especially into Friday. So the next couple of days, Thursday and Friday, it will feel a little bit sticky. Then things will start to calm down by Saturday. Wind speed wise, though, not bad at all. Great fishing weather. We're looking at pretty clear all over the area. Could actually see the lakes, of course, when there's a little bit of sunshine in the region, but a solid 5 to 10 mile per hour wind speed all over the Northwoods and even into central Wisconsin. Let's talk a little bit about this tropical storm. We just had one in California, one in Texas, and now we have another one. So the tropics are brewing right now. We're talking right by Dominican Republic into Haiti. This tropical storm did hit earlier today. Now, as it's offshore, it's on the warm, well above average waters. It will really intensify, really significantly intensify the next several days. And guess what happens? It's actually going to start curving up to the East Coast. So maybe a landfall in the United States. We will absolutely keep an eye on this. Hopefully not. And hopefully this just steers right offshore. Tonight for us, though, not bad. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies, well above average temperatures in those mid 60s. A couple of sprinkles, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two possible late overnight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies, maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms, mainly early in the day. Temperatures around 80 degrees. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress does show a cooler weekend ahead than chances of showers and thunderstorms once again by beginning of next week. Jessica?
Ahead of tonight's first Republican presidential debate, a number of rallies and protests took place in Milwaukee. A large group of union members marched outside Pfizer Forum this afternoon. Members of the Service Employees International Union chanted and carried signs saying solidarity and united across our differences to fight for our families. They're hoping to get their message out to GOP candidates to prioritize working people as part of their platform. Members of the group say the slate of GOP candidates don't share their values. The protests have been peaceful. Tonight, Milwaukee hosted the first presidential debate. 8 Republican candidates shared their message. One candidate was missing. Former President Trump skipped the debate and offered a pre-taped interview as a counter program. NBC's Alice Barr is in Milwaukee, where she's been speaking with candidates.
A showdown today in Milwaukee, where 8 Republican presidential hopefuls are set to square off, looking for a breakout moment.
You guys ready to get this started?
Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy will be center stage alongside Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
You've aligned yourself in a lot of ways with former President Trump, but how does that leave you a lane for yourself as you're running?
Well, look, I'm aligning myself with the America First agenda. and I want to take that to the next level.
North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum confirming he will make the debate stage in a boot and crutches after suffering a high-grade Achilles tendon tear during pickup basketball yesterday. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson putting his outspoken criticism of former President Trump to the test, despite poll numbers showing it's turning many voters off.
You're going down that path, but do you think it's working for you or against you?
I think it's important to the voters that we take it head on and say, this is the truth. Donald Trump can't lead us to victory.
The former president and frontrunner choosing to skip the debate, releasing a competing taped interview with Tucker Carlson, a senior campaign advisor defending the move.
If you're ahead by 50, in some cases even 60 points, you don't need to go and debate someone who's at half of a percentage point.
Mr. Trump instead preparing to turn himself in Georgia, where he and 18 co-defendants, including former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani, who surrendered today, are accused of trying to illegally overturn the 2020 election. While the former president fights the charges he fiercely denies, his rivals fighting for the spotlight in the first Republican primary debate. In Milwaukee, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Thank you, Alice. In order to qualify for tonight's debate, candidates had to meet strict polling and donor criteria and agree to support whoever becomes the Republican nominee. Coming up, a BMX Olympian is hitting the track with some Northwoods kids. We'll hear how he's improving their skills after the break.
Here at American Marine, we got more boats in stock than anyone, anywhere.
You looking for a new fishing boat? We've got a whole showroom full.
Our pontoons more your style? We have a bigger selection than anyone.
We will beat any competing price by $500, and we'll match deposits up to $1,000. There is so much summer fun left. Make it even better by picking out your new boat from the biggest selection and biggest showroom in the USA, only at American Marine Shawano.
Set summer in motion with the most adventurous Honda vehicles yet, like the Pilot and Passport Trail Sport and the Ridgeline, built for better off-road performance and engineered for more adventure. This summer, create your own adventures with Honda, the most awarded brand in car and driver 10 best history. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Summer is in full swing at Ho Chunk Gaming Wittenberg's electrifying summer concert series. Indigenous takes the stage in our highly anticipated final concert of the season. Doors open at 5 p.m. with opening act Drab kicking off the excitement at 6:30. And Indigenous will rock the stage starting at 8 p.m. Grab your advance tickets now at Ho Chunk Gaming Wittenberg's gift shop or by phone. Ho Chunk Gaming Wittenberg, your destination for unforgettable music experiences.
And just like that, she starts to grin. The spark of something new begins. There's something in the water. On her own, she's in the zone. Resilience building in her bones. There's something in the water. On and off the boat, she flies. A force of nature on the rise. There's something in the water.
Coming up on your Thursday, we'll bring you a recap of the GOP debate in Milwaukee.
Sounds very important as well. And temperatures will start to cool off after a hot day on Wednesday. How cool could it get? More morning tune in on your Thursday.
While the Olympics may only come around once every 4 years, people are always passionate about the sports that Olympians compete in. Newswatch 12's Austin Carisu visited Hodag BMX Club in order to meet with a former Olympian who was in the area.
It's cool to get to share the knowledge and experiences I've had through my 25, 27 years of racing to these riders, you know.
Nick Long, former BMX Olympian, travels around the country working with Haro BMX, teaching young riders tips and tricks on becoming the best.
This is the grassroots type racing that we all started on, And, this is kind of back to what I'm helping teach and get these riders back to, hopefully get the opportunities that I was given.
Nick goes through a race day training routine that gets riders prepared for what they may encounter in actual races.
My job is, teaching the riders the best way to keep the riders that you're ahead of, keep them behind you. And that's my goal at the end of the day.
With the opportunity to teach what he has experienced to newer generations of riders, Long encourages anyone who is interested to try the sport out.
It's just the type of people that I enjoy spending my time with, and being able to share something that I, ended up being so good at to, the grassroots and the up-and-coming kids it's just kind of a special feeling, just kind of being somebody that I wish I could have, looked up to is kind of the end of the day goal.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Wausau Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our unique doctor-supervised program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back safely, naturally, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no drugs, no hypnosis or surgery, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Hi, I'm Carrie from Wittenberg. I lost over 100 pounds and 68 inches. I know the secret. Prior to starting this program, I suffered with chronic migraines, lots of joint aches and pains, didn't have the energy to be the mom that I needed to be. My energy level's back, my confidence is back. I would definitely recommend this program to anyone looking for a change.
For your free private weight loss consultation, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Intruders are more likely to target homes with dark zones. Take the bullseye off your house and turn on Bionic Spotlight Extreme 360, the motion-activated home defense light that looks just like a high-tech security camera. It detects even the slightest motion and automatically triggers 6 ultra-bright LED high beams. During the day, it's disguised as a high-tech security camera. It's completely wireless and installs in just seconds. Powered by solar panels, no batteries needed. It adjusts a full 360 degrees. Call or go online and order your Bionic Extreme 360 for just $19.99. But wait, we can also include a second one. Just pay a separate fee. Plus, we'll give you free shipping on your entire order.
To order, call 1-800-448-5082 or go online to buybionic360.com. So call 1-800-448-5082 or go to buybionic360.com.
Huge auction, Phelps, Wisconsin. Tractors, SUVs, tools, ATV, large amount of car parts, automotive, iron, farm machinery, outdoor wood boiler, and more. Contact Brass and St. Louis Auctions for more details.
At WJFW, our News Watch 12 news team works around the clock to bring you the news that matters most of all to the Northwoods. Our team is committed to the community and ensuring that you are as informed as possible. NBC News Watch 12. News from where you live.
For most couples, a wedding ring is a lasting symbol of love and commitment. But for one couple, that symbol was missing for over a decade. News Watch 12's Nick Van Zyl has the story.
Mike and Tracy Croning have a home on the Turtle Flambeau Flowage. In 2009, they met their neighbors and their kids on Swimmers Island. Everyone was having fun swimming and playing, and Mike was tossing one of the kids into the water when something unimaginable happened.
As I threw him, he grabbed my hand and pulled my platinum wedding band off of my hand, and it was lost. So we immediately quarantined the area, so to speak, went and got diving masks, and we looked for the wedding band for many, many hours and days.
Mike and Tracy figured that the ring was gone for good, and Tracy even purchased a replacement. They say they've been back to the island thousands of times over the past 14 years, but never really thought about the ring until Mike saw a Facebook post.
I saw a picture of a ring, and it looked just like my ring. And again, 14 years later, it was, stained with the color of the water. But I reached out to Bill Stewart.
What just blew me away was within half an hour,
I had a message from Mike. First of all, I was surprised we found anybody. And second of all, I was surprised it came so quickly.
Bill had to make sure it was the right owner, so he asked what was inscribed on the band.
It's Your Love is our wedding song. So I had it engraved with those words and the date of our wedding.
So he told me what was on the inside of the ring, except that the date was not right. And I went back to him and I said, could there be another date? And he said, yes, we were married twice, once in the United States and once in Canada. What's the other date? I said. He gave me the other date, and it was correct.
Mike went to Bill's house that night and was reunited with his ring, 14 years after it had been lost.
Like a needle in a haystack or winning the lottery or something along those lines, but I haven't won the lottery yet.
Reporting from the Turtle Flambeau Flowage, Nick Van Zyl, Newswatch 12.
Hopefully, your family will never need to hire a personal injury lawyer. But if you ever do, it's important to understand that not all law firms are the same. A lot more is involved than one phone call and a quick settlement. To make things right again, it can take time, and it will take talent. Since 1930, Habish & Rotier has recovered more million-dollar results for our clients than any other law firm in Wisconsin. Habish & Rotier, national reputation, hometown service.
We're the Packers Scratch Game crew, bringing back Packers Scratch Games for you. The pack is back, and Scratch Games are here. With 4 season tickets you could win for a year. There's instant cash prizes and other bonus drawing surprises.
Packers Scratch Games are back with instant cash prizes up to $30,000 and a bonus drawing for 4 season tickets for 1 year. Prices range from $1 to $10. Available now at all Wisconsin lottery retailers.
We're not kidding, somebody will be winning 4 season tickets for a year.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
I got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you. Get 1.9% APR and no monthly payments until 2024. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get $1,250 purchase allowance on 2023 Buick Encore GX models. Visit your North Central Wisconsin Buick dealer.
You need a fan, but they're bulky, awkward, and never put the breeze exactly where you want it. Introducing my Fold-Away Fan from Bell & Howell, the compact cordless fan that unfolds into your own personal wind machine and extends to nearly 4 feet high. Its lightweight, portable design makes it easier than ever to have a targeted breeze anywhere. Plus, this whisper-quiet fan has 3 separate speeds, making personalizing your comfort a breeze. My Fold-Away Fan's rechargeable lithium battery lasts up to 10 hours, and it has enough power to blast a breeze to the other side of this room. Its unique telescoping stand allows you to place it on the floor, so the breeze will reach anywhere with ease. Then the whole thing folds away for easy storage. Get my Fold-Away Fan from Bell & Howell for just 2 payments of $19.99. It comes with the USB cable to make charging fast and easy. My Fold-Away Fan. Call or click now.
Call 1-800-213-0761. That's 1-800-213-0761 or go to myfoldawayfan.com.
Music every weekend, never a cover, and drinks priced right. TV, pool, darts, and more. Happy's Pub in downtown Woodruff.
Conrad, it was scorching today, and people weren't the only ones taking a dip to beat the heat. Today was the 15th annual dog swim at the Chippewa Falls Community Pool, and don't they look excited? They look so happy to be out there swimming.
Yeah, they definitely enjoyed it.
Doggy paddling.
Right? Diving in. It was like 80s, 90s outside, so they definitely enjoyed jumping in there. But look at these high temperatures, Jessica. 100 degrees in Wapaka. Even around the corner, Wausau, 95 degrees. So the heat was here. Did have a little bit of clouds. That's what really kept things just slightly cooler in Rhinelander. These dew points, though, 60s and 70s at the moment. Feels like I just got out of a plane in Mexico. But look at the weekend. We're talking lower to mid-70s, a lot more comfortable levels in just a few days.
Beautiful. Can't wait.
I'm excited.
Thanks, Conrad. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Send them back to school looking and seeing their best. Get premium eyewear and A-plus patient care from the experienced team at Shopko Optical. Cross off eye exams on your back-to-school checklist. Schedule their comprehensive exam today.
I've got home internet from T-Mobile. It only costs $50 at T-Mobile. Just one cord to set up. Say goodbye to that truck. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. They won't raise your rates at T-Mobile. You'll get a great deal every day.
Home internet from T-Mobile, just $50 a month.
America, come along with our adventure seekers, the Sanchez family, and discover summer with the Ford F-150. See how available features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist make backing up as easy as turning a knob. Watch as Pro Power on board lights up the night. And Ford Blue Cruise makes driving even more fun. Now get a Ford F-150 XLT or Ford Lightning with 3.9% APR financing for 60 months plus 1,000 retail trade assist cash and 500 low APR cash.
Whether you're just beginning your educational journey or seeking a new opportunity, we're here for you. At North Central Technical College, we have unique partnerships with 4-year colleges that allow you to transfer seamlessly to and from our campus, saving you time and money. With hundreds of transfer options available, the path to a bachelor's degree and a great paying career are just a step away. North Central Technical College. Start here, go anywhere.
Huge auction, Phelps, Wisconsin. Tractors, SUVs, tools, ATV, large amount of car parts, automotive, iron, farm machinery, outdoor wood boiler, and more. Contact Brass and St. Louis Auctions for more details.